administration needs to come up to Congress and make a comprehensive case. What is the plan? Where are we going on Syria? And what do you want to accomplish?
Intelligence officials say the surveillance programs have helped thwart dozens of potential terrorist attacks. But privacy advocates say the NSA is scooping up far more information than it needs to do the job.
Mr. Attorney General, your opponent has repeatedly refused to agree to debate you. What is your message back to Mr. McConnell?
Get in the ring.
Just as Britain gets set to host the G8 summit, which starts on Monday, new allegations have appeared in the Guardian newspaper, also gleaned from the information passed on by Edward Snowden. Snowden has passed along documents, some referenced online and heavily redacted, and some just referenced in the newspaper article, that a British eavesdropping agency repeatedly hacked into foreign diplomats' emails just ahead of the G20 summit in 2009.
John takes your calls at 888-480-JOHN. That's 888-480-5646.
Hey, good Monday morning. Welcome to the John Fredericks Show. Common sense for the Commonwealth. We're broadcasting from the nation's capital, and as always, blasting our way through the Commonwealth. This is Virginia's only statewide radio news network. I'm your host, John Fredericks, and we are the adults in the room. Great to have you with us today. Hope all fathers had a happy Father's Day. I certainly had a great day, and I was served the finest meats and cheeses yesterday as I watched a litany of baseball games from around the, I guess, the United States. I had the little man cave going. Yes, it was my day, Father's Day, so I had on the Orioles. I had the Nats game on. Boy, that was a disaster. And on my iPad, I had on the Astros White Sox game. My Astros winning 3 in a row. Yes, we might not be the worst team in history. And for Father's Day here, I've got my new Astros shirt that my son gave me, so I'm pretty fired up. What do you think, Matthew? Hot or what? I mean, am I grooving or what? What do you think?
You know, you got to cut it out with the southern teams. I'll give you a pass today, but
it's not Southern, it's Texas.
That's Southern. That's the most Southern that you can get.
Texas isn't part of the South; it's its own entity. But the Astros.
So long as you don't ask anybody from
Texas.
I
hate the White Sox because they beat us in the World Series. They swept us, so we returned the favor. Took us a while, but sweeping the Chi Sox. And how about that Nats game? Like 95 guys left on base.
Are you going to pick
2-0?
Are you going to pick the Nats over the Orioles?
Well, I enjoy now that the Astros went to the American League West. Now I'm an AL fan. I follow my team. I've been following them since 1964, so not want to give up. So now I'm an American League fan, so I do enjoy watching the Orioles. Got to see another Chris Davis bomb yesterday, his 23rd home. That guy rocks. So I think the Orioles, they're my pick to still win it all. There's a lot of talent on this club. They play defense, they got some speed, they got quality starters, they got Jim Johnson coming out of the bench as the closer. He had that bad stretch there, but I'm not really a Nats fan. No, I don't have a problem with them, but if two games run at the same time and I can only watch one, normally I'll put the Orioles on. So that's kind of the way it goes. So I definitely had the baseball weekend going on, enjoyed my Father's Day. And I want to give a shout-out to my son JoJo's all-star team, Greenbrier. So they went to a tournament at the Navy base in Norfolk, right? The Navy base. So anyway, we were playing on the Navy base field, and in order to get in there, you have to show your ID and things like that. So we finished third in that. So a great shout-out to the Greenbrier All-Stars and my coach of all time, Jim Smith. You know what? Some college should pick this guy up. This guy's a really great baseball coach. And so quick story to tell. So my little guy I think we played 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe I think 5 games, and finished third in the tournament. But my little guy JoJo continues his torrid pace. He bats leadoff, and he went in the 5 games. He went 21 for 24 with couple homers, 2 home runs, 21 for 24. That's a pretty good average.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
I'd say
pretty good average. And then a couple funny things happened. Well, not this. The one funny thing is we have a player on the team, Corey, and my son bet him $5 that he would not hit a homer. Okay, bet him $5. So naturally, what always happens, and the third time Corey was up, he hit a bomb. And as he's circling third base, he's pointing to my son, holding up, 5, like I want my $5.
So your son lost $5.
He lost $5, and of course he came over to me immediately and said, "Dad, I need to borrow $5 to pay Corey my bet."
So you lost $5.
So I end up getting stuck for the $5. So then my son's playing first base, JoJo, and they're 8 years old, so they don't have all the footwork down. So there was a ground ball to shortstop, and it was offline. And so he went to grab the ball, but of course what you're supposed to do is go up the line and give the bag to the runner. You can't just block the bag. Well, he's trying to get the ball, and he's crossing the bag. Anyway, huge collision. And, of course, he goes down in like a hump, and, Mama Bear was freaking out there. So anyway, we get him. He's got blood all over him, and he was fine. The bottom line, he was fine, but he was all bloodied up there, and they knocked out a tooth, but it was a baby tooth, so not like it was a regular tooth. So
how serendipitous!
Anyway, right? So it's a baby tooth. So they get him there, and they're all all the mama bears are there hovering around him. They're bringing him gauze and stuff, and he's wiping the blood off and putting the gauze up on his thing. So we get the tooth out, and he's like, "Hey, do I get $5 for that?" So it cost me another $5.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah.
So now I'm down 10, and so finally, his mom Ann, my wife Ann, right? They patch him up. They stick gauze up in a gum thing. He's a little tough guy. They stick gauze up in there, and they wipe off the blood, and they clean him up. And Coach Jim Smith he's a pretty tough actor. So they had him out for a half inning, and then Coach Smith says to him, "Do you want to go back in?" He's like, "Well, I don't know." He said, "Well, do you want to go in or not?" He's like, no sympathy there. Kid's like, "Yeah, Coach, I'll go in." So they put him back in. He's got gauze hanging out of his mouth, and he goes back in there. So that's my story on the Greenbrier All-Stars finishing third. Nice little team, but I tell you, if there's any college coaches out there, you're looking somebody on staff, I tell you what, you got to look up this guy, Jim Smith, in Chesapeake. He's top-notch, absolutely top-notch. So anyway, that was my Father's Day. Baseball, then we came home from that. That game was on Sunday. We got home about 1 o'clock, and then I've got all the other games on, and I finished up by watching the Braves-Giants game on ESPN at 8 o'clock. So I got baseballed out, no question about it.
You're baseballed out?
I was baseballed out, and happy my lowly Astros gave me a win on Father's Day, 5-4, over the hated enemy, ideological enemy, the Chicago White Sox. So, of course, I don't like Chicago anyway because that's where Obama's from, and they beat us in the World Series, and they think they're hot stuff. So I was glad to see the White Sox get swept by the lowly, decrepit Houston Astros. That was definitely a fun day. So hope you all fathers had a great day out there. I certainly did. Got all my kids called me up and got all the neat stuff. So anyway, I wish Father's Day was more often than that. I got to wait now another 12 months. And I definitely milk it. I got to tell all you fathers, you got to really milk the Father's Day thing. I mean, you just can't be one day or like a half a day. I mean, you got to start like 2 weeks out talking about it and get people fired up about it, what you're going to do. And then you turn into Father's Day weekend. See, it's not a day. Like I turned it into a week, and then the weekend culminates. So it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
But then in one day you lost $10 on Father's Day. So if you did it a weekend, you're looking at $30. So
yeah, I did lose $10.
Pretty soon, if this catches on, you're going to be losing a lot of money.
That's right. I got a lot of nice text yesterday for Father's Day, and text from some of my customers. Want to give them a shout out. Appreciate that. All my advertisers sent me a Father's Day text. Very nice of you all. A few politicians out there, like David Ramadan, sent me a Father's Day. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. So and others. So it was all around fun there. Boy, we got a rocking show coming up today, man. You don't want to miss this. At the 6:30 hour, we're going to have our early riser replay. Is Ken Cuccinelli is going to be. We interviewed him on Friday, and he had some interesting things to say, no doubt. And hey, I forgot to give one shout out. I always have to give this shout out to one of our key listeners. He's been one of my most loyal listeners, Matt Walsh. I know you're out there, Matt, driving somewhere to work, somewhere in Hampton Roads, and just got a text from him also. And Matt, wish you were still there on our baseball team. Hope your son's doing well. I want to give a shout out to Matt Walsh. Great guy. So this show today is Rock Ribs, Cuccinelli coming up at the 6:30 hour. Then at the 7 o'clock hour, we've got quite the surprise for you. I've got 1 hour, 7 to 8. We're going to be taking your calls. Wait till I tell you who's on. It could be I don't know how to exactly word this. It could be an ongoing catastrophe for Terry McAuliffe when we tell you about who we've got on from the 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock hours. And yes, it does involve Green Tech. And yes, it does involve Bill Clinton. And yes, it does involve a relative of Bill Clinton's, not mentioning any names. And yes, it does involve visas and things of that nature. Even Haley Barber's involved. We're going to have to get all the facts on this today right here on the John Fredericks Show. At the 8 o'clock hour, Grover Norquist will be with us. He'll be cooing over the fact that a couple of the people that endorsed the transportation bill in the House of Delegates in Virginia went down to defeat. But I'm going to counter that with some others that did not. I don't really think it's about that. It was always fun to have Grover on. So all that and more coming up right here on the John Fredericks Show. I'm going to tell you who's on at 7 o'clock when we get right back. But right now, a quick word from our sponsors. It's 22 past the hour. I hope you're fired up because I am.
Got something to say? Call John right now at 888-480-JOHN. 888-480-5646 and let him know what you think.